What's popping? What's popping, my guys? Now, this is what it's reaching KJ Trends right now. That Sin Diddy comes prison release date moved up after a prison fight. Now, Sin Diddy comes prison date moved for a fifth time. Wow. The rapper who is serving a 4-year sentence for prostitution-related charges will now be released on Jan 24, 2028. Now, the rapper, who was recently sent to Solidarity for following a fight with a fellow inmate, has his release date changed from February 23rd, 2028 to Jan 24th, 2028. According to the Federal Bureau of Prison Record, viewed by one of the media houses now, Combs is currently serving a 4-year prison sentence for prostitution-related charges. The new change makes the 5th time Combs' release date has been updated. Now, as he was initially set to be released on the May 28, 2028 during his sentencing, the date was later pushed to June 4, 2028 before moved again to April 25, 2028. It has been then updated again to April 15, 2028 before moving to February and now January. The news came less than a week after the 56-year-old was moved to Solidarity confinement at the Fox Dix Federal Correctional Institute in New Jersey for his involvement in an altercation at the prison, according to the multiple outlets citing source knowledging on the matter. Now, the fight allegedly broke out with another inmate making a remark to Combs, and one source told the ABC News. However, a rep from the low security prison explained they should not be providing additional details about the incident, so maybe they wanted to be remain low or whatever. We are not at liberty to disclose or provide international information pertaining to any inmate in our custody, the spokesman said in a July 24th statement to TMZ. Such information would not be available for the public domain. Now, the Bad Boys record founder was transferred to the New Jersey prison from the New York Metropolitan Detention Center in the late October. I believe that is last year. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison after a New York jury found him guilty under the Man's Act and 2 counts of transportation and engage in prostitution. I think we all know Diddy's story. He was acquitted on sex trafficking and recarteling charges. While still in prison, Combs sold his house on a Miami Stars Island for around $55 million in the early July. The home sits next to the rapper's other Miami residence, which was raided by the federal agents in March 2025. We all remember the story. During the raid, authorities seized more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, as well as various free-up supplies, including narcotics. According to the court documents, and since the following Combs' September 24 arrest, and I quote, during the freaks of him, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. A federal inmate said. Sometimes, and beckonings to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of the victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers, which I believe it's wrong and maybe. However, Combs' legal team pushed back to the allegation, fighting for an appeal to overturn his conviction. In court filing obtained by CNN, his lawyers argued that the flicks-offs, which were acted as the basics of his conviction, as he moved individuals across the state lines to engage in sex acts, should not be applicable under the Man's Act and instead should be considered amateur porn shoots. So they believe that since they were filmed in their concerns, it should be considered as an amateur porn shoots. Flick-offs and hotel nights were highly choreographed sexual performances involving the use of costumes, role play, and staged lighting. Lighting is counsel wrote in court's documents, which were filmed so Combs and his girlfriends could watch the amateur pornography later. Their filing continued pornography production and viewing of this sort of protected by his First Amendment and thus cannot constitutionally be persecuted. So the court repeated the case of that. In other words, the term prostitution in the act should be limited to those situations that where paying customer engages in sex with other persons being paid. Now that is what happened to Diddy. So his jail term has been reduced, and We believe more to come, and I believe that justice will be found on that case. And peace.